Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel, and in this first video of 2020 I'm just going to take a sort of a historical view of my channel through 2019, what I managed to get painted up. Now this is purely 40k painted. There is some AI, Aeronautica Imperialis, some Adeptus Titanicus stuff that I did as well, but I really wanted to focus on the Warhammer 40k content, the models that I've managed to complete this year. Plenty of whips that are still going on, plenty of stuff that I didn't manage to get finished, which I'm aiming to do obviously in 2020. But I wanted to sort of take a little journey through the past 12 months and see exactly what I did, and then reveal the total amount of points painted at the end of the video. So stick around for the big reveal. So let's take a look at some pictures, and we'll be right back after the intro. So let's start with the big picture of everything then. So I want to kind of go through this from, I don't know, left to right maybe. So on the very left hand side, this was the Demon/Thousand Suns contingent that I managed to get done. So we have a Lord of Change, we have Kairos Fateweaver, we have the Changeling, we have Araman, and we have the Blue Scribes, and then finally Aetios Raul Corez, the Super Forge World Mega Chicken of Doom. In the middle then, just at the bottom front then, we have two armigers. One is the Helverin, and then one is the Moirax with lightning locks, which was one of the Forge World kits that came out earlier this year. And then finally, I did actually get round to painting the Valiant variant. Now I do have the other one to go. I'm hoping to achieve that sometime later this year, with any luck. Then we move on to the Marine contingent. Marines, as everyone knows, back end of this year became super powerful, no matter pretty much what chapter you followed. Iron Hands were well up there, Imperial Fist were well up there. I have a very large 30k Imperial Fist army, but I wanted to do a Primaris force that wasn't as dark and mustardy yellow as my 30k. I wanted to make it sort of 40k using the modern colour palette. So I managed to get 6 Centurions, 3 Aggressors, 5 Intercessors, and Captain Tor Garadon done to complement my Imperial Fist army. Now I want to make sure that that is a bit more legal from a detachment perspective. So I've got more Intercessors to come and a few other bits and pieces to bolt onto that force. Then finally on the right, well penultimately on the right shall I say, is the custom chapter that I made, the Solar Guardians. Now, plenty of background that I came up with for these. These are based on my Lucius Forge World, which is where all my Knights and Titans come from, as well as my Adeptus Mechanicus force. So I got quite a few done. This was kicked off as part of the Project Primaris, or Fresh Force Challenge, which was basically a challenge to make 3 troops and 2 HQs. The old school detachment of how you used to start Warhammer 40k. So it's a 17 model challenge really. And I took that a little bit further and managed to get a few more bits and pieces done. So from the front then, we have a Lieutenant, we have a Captain and a Librarian, 3 squads of 5 Intercessors, 5 Hellblasters, 6 Aggressors, 3 Inceptors, the Repulsor Executioner Tank, and a Redemptor Dreadnought. And that was my custom chapter. I could use it pretty much in any rules. I have actually used it in a game. If you just go back a couple of videos, you'll see that I've used them as Imperial Fists, using those other Imperial Fist models against Idic Nick Beer, to quite a successful result, shall we say, just highlighting how good Marines have become in comparison to some of the lesser loved codexes like the Necrons, for example. And then finally, the big boy himself. You can see the big video on this is one video ago. My New Year's Eve video from 2019, and that is the Warlord Titan. So if you want to go and check out some more pictures and detail on him, just go and find that other video. So the first half of the picture, let's take a look at the points then. So we have a Noctilith Crown. I did actually forget to mention that earlier. So there's a bit of terrain in there. A Noctilith Crown, Aetios, the 2 Greater Demons, and the 3 characters. Now they came in at a whopping 2,457 points. Now that's not a lot of models for that amount, but obviously Aetios there at 1,500 really chewed up a large amount of points to be painted. Now, I suspect I probably took as long to paint a single figure of 1500 points as I might have done painting maybe a regular Space Marine army. So he did take a fair while to paint, to be honest. So, but yeah, it's a big points chunk in a single figure. But it was a good excuse to get some stuff that I hadn't done, that I've had sitting around for a long time. The Blue Scribes and the Changeling, for example, I've had those kits pretty much since, well, for a long time. I even did the video on how I made the conversion for the Blue Scribes, because the Finecast version at £25 is terrible. So I made that using leftover parts from the Start Collecting Tzeentch Demons box. But yeah, 2,457 points. Next up then was the additional knights, the regular plastic 40k scale ones. So we have the Knight Valiant, we have the Moirax and the Helverin. And that total is 900 points on the nose. So it's 583 for the large one, 157 and 160 for the other two. They did drop, these are chapter approved 2019 points values. But yeah, 900 points worth of knights. So another big chunk to add to the pile there. On the screen now is the Imperial Fist contingent that I painted up. 140 points there for Tor Garadon, 101 for the Intercessors because the Sergeant does have a Power Fist and there is a grenade launcher in there. 3 Aggressors for 148 and 6 Centurions for 420. Bringing us in at a grand total of 809 points of Imperial Fist goodness. That's nearly 1,000 points in just a few models there. Those Centurions certainly chew up a few points. I'm wondering how much of that will continue through 2020. Will there be a nerf bat put on those? I don't know. Seems to me that other codexes are being balanced against the Space Marines rather than the Space Marines being redressed against the other factions. So yeah, pretty happy. That's nearly 1,000 points worth. It certainly will be more than 1,000 by the end of this year. The final Space Marines that I completed as part of the Fresh Force Challenge of 2019 were the Solar Guardians, my custom homebrew desert kind of Lucius Forge World based chapter. And we kick off here then with a captain, a lieutenant and a librarian, 3 squads of intercessors, 5 hellblasters, 6 aggressors, 3 inceptors, the repulsor and the redemptor. Now if we do all of the maths on that, that comes to 1,515 points. So just over a 1,500 point army. So just over 1,500 points there. Not a bad force to use in regular sort of 1,500 point games. I'm sure I can trim 15 out of there where necessary. For example, I've got 3 characters. You can actually run that as a 2 character battalion with the bolt-ons of the aggressors, the inceptors and the vehicles there. And then just try and find the other extra points. I could drop the librarian for 100 points and then maybe add some bits and pieces in there to complete that force at 1,500. But yeah, pretty impressed that I managed to complete that challenge. Started off quite quickly, then stalled, and then realised that the time was ticking on that challenge. It was a 6-month challenge, so it was a fair while to get done. But yeah, I was quite happy that I managed to get a fully playable army out of it, and able to use pretty much any chapter abilities or any chapter rules that I liked, which was the aim of the game. A completely neutral colour scheme, one that could not be in any way, shape or form attributed to any mainstream colour faction that we all know about. So yeah, it could be used in any kind of tournament or competitive type arena, and also you can use it in conjunction with anything else. So that was the main aim of the game. So that's what I did, and it was all based originally out of the Dark Imperium box set with a few extra bits and pieces thrown in for good measure. Finally, and by no means least, is the Warlord Titan. 40k points based, 6,000 points on his own. One of the biggest, if not, it is the biggest model I've ever painted without a shadow of a doubt. I thought Aetios was a big kit, and then you start putting this together and then you realise Aetios is a small ant and will be crushed under his feet. A massive, massive project. I've still got a few more bits that I want to do to him with other weapon variants that have since been released by Forge World. But yeah, this was 3 years in the making, and as I've previously said, there's a whole video on this guy, lots more pictures, lots more exciting things to look at than this single shot, but I wanted to include him in the group photo. So adding 6,000 to the rest of the forces. So what happens when we add each of those contingents together? We end up with the grand total. Can we have a drum roll, please? That's the worst drum roll in the world. 11,826 points of 40k in 2019. 11826, according to my calculations. I'm hoping I've got that right. That is a lot of points. Now, yes, a lot of them are based in a couple of models, but that's still quite a lot of playable models in regular armies, all completed in 2019. Will it be beaten in 2020? I very much doubt, but we'll give it a good go. So there we go then, guys. That is 2019 wrapped up for the channel and for my hobby progress. I will be doing a video of my, I guess, hobby resolutions for 2020. Hoping to record that this weekend with a couple of guests. So look forward to that. Hopefully next weekish, I guess that'll be coming out. So I just wanted to do this little wrap up of 2019, then do another video of 2020. Quite a big year, figuratively and numerically. So the biggest model that I've ever painted is now done. Quite a few other big models in there. Aetios Ralcarez, for example, another huge kit that I've had sitting around in boxes for a fair while. And then quite a lot of infantry, really. Well, I say a lot. I mean, it's. I think it was 50 infantry, 3 tank/walkers, 3 large monsters, the Titan, and 3 knights. I think that was the total figure count. If you have a look back on those photos, and a piece of terrain. Don't forget the Noctilith crown. But yeah, quite a large points value for that amount of figures. Mainly because Aetios and the Titan, 7,500 points between them. So yeah, that did kind of take a big portion of it, but still quite a lot of smaller stuff, regular playable models in your games of 40k. Those 2 exceptions, you know, you're not going to see in very many games, let's be honest. Hoping to get an Apocalypse game in, though, where they may well feature. But there we go. I'd love to see in the comments section below what you managed to get for 2019. How did you get on? Did you achieve your 2019 hobby resolutions? You know, did you manage to get everything you expected to get done? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section with that. And save your comments for the 2020 resolution stuff. I'd love to hear from you in the next video on that one. But as we approach 2,000 subscribers, only about 90-ish away at the time of recording, that could well mean a 2k giveaway. So stay tuned for that in the very near future. But I hope you enjoyed this little roundup, this little catch-up throughout 2019. And if you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I shall catch you guys on the next video.